The town hall meeting hasn't really been invented or reinvented in a very long time, and we're watching, the process in New Hampshire for the presidential primaries with people meeting in house parties. A district the size of John's district, with numerous counties, with rural roads and access, getting a crowd on a weekday or a Saturday morning could potentially be difficult, and that really leaves a lot of people out of the loop. The internet provides a different way for the public to interact, and this week, on Thursday, John will be hosting his first online live web chat for an hour and a half on the governor's budget. And technology allows John to take questions directly. A moderator will be with John to make sure that that contacts and posts on the web follow some kind of an organized flow. And everyone pre-registers and they receive a password. And that allows us then to follow up if you have 100 people on the online web chat from all the different counties, and you're only able to physically type 20 questions. All the questions can then be answered and an interaction take place with John. So the online town hall, the innovation that's making its way into national political campaigns, but something that really has been left untouched at the legislative level. The Constituent Action Center, which is really the intersection point between ordinary citizens and John and what's happening in Harrisburg, we think this is critical. If you're going to erase $100,000 of government mail every year, that typically is never time sensitive. If something happens in Harrisburg, a public policy event, the governor's budget, a major government reform, waiting 30 days or 60 days or even longer for the newsletter to catch up with the event is difficult. And if that information isn't covered above the fold on the front page of your local newspaper, even more difficult. So Government Watch gives, and this is kind of the bailiwick of the policy director and webmaster to keep this current and updated on cutting-edge policies and a way for constituents to interact. In this case, the proposal is a supermajority requirement to raise taxes. It gives the status of that policy proposal, and then it gives a roster of the individual senators so that people in their districts can contact either by phone or by email. Pro-family issues, another side of a kind of two-pronged policy approach. And in this case, John is discussing the Pharmacist Conscience Clause, a measure that gives pharmacists who believe that life begins at conception the option to not fill prescriptions for drugs such as RU-46. Constituents very rarely would find out about that piece of legislation, and the newsletter just doesn't provide time to call them to action on a particular issue. Eichelpod, a feature that's beginning to be incorporated in a number of legislative websites, but usually pretty difficult to find or buried on the fourth or fifth page of a website. But you can easily, with a click, subscribe to Senator Eichelberger's podcast, blog entries, press releases, newspaper articles, so you don't have to continually check back on the site every day. And then finally, a feature for people to locate their constituent service office with some ease. In this case, Senator Eichelberger has 2 district offices set up with 2 more on the way. The toll-free phone number is listed, and that is one of the usual complaints that people have about a legislative or even political websites, is that it's very difficult to find a person on the other end, to find a live phone number or to find an address to be able to effectively interact with your lawmaker. That is SenatorEichelberger.com. You'll see the focus really is on the constituent. The focus is on helping people interact with ease with state government from their living rooms, from their bedrooms, from their offices, from their BlackBerries in a way that's easy and efficient, or their local library in a way that's not intimidating at all, which most of state government bureaucracy tends to be. And with that, John and I would be happy to answer any questions.
Is this website up and running yet? And if not, when will it be?
Tomorrow. It'll be live tomorrow. What we'd ask is that people embargo the story until tomorrow, and we're going to roll it out in the district tomorrow. and it'll be live from that point on.
Do you include on this website, or will you, your own voting record and/or expenses, for instance?
Yes, we're going to have roll call votes, a link to the roll call votes on a daily basis as they come up, and we had always planned to do the expenses at least on an annual basis, if not more often, depending on how the requests are for that.
So at some point you will be putting those up?
Yes.
A few that you have, apparently.
We're not racking up too many, that's for sure.
On those, for instance, if you say you don't take per diems, do you charge actual expenses?
I charge for my hotel, and that's all. I don't charge for meals. Mileage and hotel. And turnpike fares when I have them. I don't always take the turnpike. But I think that's the extent of what we've charged. Okay, and we'll be available later if anybody has any follow-up. Thank you very much. You can tell that why I'm so excited about this, and I think it will be a tool that will lead by example and hopefully change how a lot of people do business here at the Capitol. Thank you very much.